Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm just editing this piece in because I wanted to say a very big thank you to everybody that has liked the video, everybody that has commented. They've been really positive, been really constructive comments. A lot of that info you've given me I'm really going to take on board when we try and find out what actually caused this thing to happen, and also what we're going to do to try and prevent it happening again. And I'd also like to especially thank all those people that have subscribed. Numbers have really gone up over the last couple of weeks, so thank you all. It is very much appreciated. We're getting close to 100 subs now, and I said to myself that once we get to 100 subs, this thing is probably worthwhile doing. So over the winter, when the videos will inevitably decline a little, I'm going to get Insta360 and some other bits and pieces, you know, spend some money, get the videos much better quality, especially when we're out on the road. You can actually hear what's going on rather than that sort of muffled awful noise or over music I have to use at the moment. So that's the plan. Thanks once again. Thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, thanks for subscribing, and please keep subscribing for more. What I thought I'd do today, while I'm waiting for parts to arrive, is reassemble the engine using an old piston in place of the broken one. Just turn the engine over. I'll try with the Kickstarter, I'll try with the power tool on the generator to get a bit more speed to it, or even put it into gear and turn the back wheel on. I'm just listening out for knocking or any disturbing noises. Anyway, it's just an idea. I don't know whether it'll work. Let's have a go. So this is looking at the damaged side of the engine. So a closer look at the piston first. Obviously it blew a hole in the top and all that aluminium went somewhere, and we did have a partial seizure of the engine at some point. And the gudgeon pin is there. I mean, there's no heat marks on that. I mean, it didn't get that hot that it blued it. And the roller bearing, the small end bearing, is still in good condition. It's not going to get reused, but again, there's no overheat on there, and all of the bearings do move freely. The bore, you can just see there's actually deposits of aluminium on it rather than scores in it. And I have tried to use this honing tool to get those aluminium pieces out, but unfortunately the arms on this are not long enough, and as you can see by that crack there, they snag on the inlet port, so it's not really working for me. So I have ordered next oversized piston, so that's 0.50. I've ordered 2, and new bearings of course, and we're going to get the thing off to the engineering shop once those pistons arrive. They're coming from Wimoto. I could have got them from Yambits, but the problem is having them sent here, the customs, it's just such a pain. And to get Wimoto to do it more or less on my behalf is easier. So that's the plan. We're going to go for a rebore and a top end rebuild. So I've taken the barrel off obviously, and now I'm just trying to clean it up. You can see here on the revalve, see the bits of aluminium stuck to it. So the whole thing is just covered in these tiny bits of shrapnel. You can see there's bits of piston in a very fine powder format all over, down the barrels as well. So I'm cleaning everything off using small picks, plenty of this soft garage paper, just getting everything out, rinsing everything, cleaning everything, making sure that it's absolutely perfect. I'm going to try and show you how I've cleaned up the inside of the crankcase and got out the debris from the piston. Obviously there were some big chunks here and here which I simply hoovered out, and I have dry hoovered out as much as I can in there. I also obviously wiped everything over with a microfiber to get as much out. The other thing that I did was use WD-40 and just flushed everything down here, everything down into the bottom of the crank like that, so that the pieces of aluminium are suspended in the oil. And then what I did was use a drinking straw, a plastic drinking straw, put that into the bottom of the crank where it all pulls together at the bottom at its lowest point, and then using an aquavac sucked all of the debris out and the liquid through the straw. I'll try and show you, bear with. Repeated that trick probably a dozen times now. At first, if you saw the fluid going up the straw, it was quite grey, and now it's just sucking up clean oil. So just by looking at the two con rods, the one on the right has the same amount of kind of side to side movement as the undamaged one on the left, but there is just a small amount of up and down movement detectable on the right hand side that there isn't on the left hand side. So that's leading me to think that the big end bearing has possibly gone. Looking at the vape, I mean, that's rock solid. There's absolutely no movement in that. And therefore, I'm hoping the crank bearings, that's absolutely rock solid. Okay, so that's the right hand cylinder back on. The way I did it is I put the piston in the barrel and then lowered the whole barrel onto the com rod, and that was quite tricky. I'd never done it before. What I'm going to try on this side is try and put the cylinder on the piston rather than the piston into the cylinder, and see how that goes. It's just a question of squeezing the rings in so that they don't break or snag. That's the second cylinder on, and gudgeon pin and circlip are in. Now, you guys that do this all the time, I guess you're going to tell me it's a lot easier to work on the engine with the bike, with the engine out of the bike and on the workbench, and I agree. Getting those circlips out and pins out was an absolute nightmare, and almost as difficult to get back in as well. So I think when it comes to do the proper rebuild, I think that engine's coming out because it's just too difficult. So I'm going to continue with reassembly and then turn the engine over just by hand, just to see if we've, so I can hear anything rattling. I'll start the engine if I have to, but it will be for the briefest of periods, given that these gudgeon pins have been in and out and the circlips have been reused. Right, so the engine's back together very temporarily. I just want to be absolutely sure that this bottom bearing is either good or bad before I take the whole thing out and strip it. So I'm just going to go for a very brief start. Going to turn it off before something else even worse happens. I think that's pretty obvious even to me that there's a serious problem down in the depths of that engine, so we're going to stop there and take the engine out and strip it down. Thanks so much for all your comments, helpful suggestions. Please like, subscribe and share, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks very much.